What's good, everyone? It is your boy Soulblaze back at it again with a new concept. As you've probably read from the thumbnail and the title of this video already, this is my new show here on YouTube called Wine Swirlix, where me as the LC Pokemon Draft League connoisseur sits here, swirls my fancy wine, and I love to just sit here swirling my wine and talk about these Little Cup Pokemon all day. This is kind of going to be like my old series called Little Cup Spotlight or Little Cup Highlight or something like that, but now it has a fancy new name. It has graphics, it has logos, everything like that. So if you enjoy this concept, if you think this is interesting to watch, then please show your support down below in likes, comments, subscribe. Every way you can support goes a long way, so I really appreciate that. Without any further ado though, let's hop into the first episode of Wine Swirlix here on the Soulblaze YouTube channel, and today we're going to be talking about none other than this little boy on your screen right here, Litleo. Now, Litleo is quite an interesting Pokemon. First of all, it's a normal fire type, so it's quite a unique typing combo. In the stat department, we're not looking too shabby in the bulk. The attack stat is a little bit less than you want, but it's nothing to sneeze at once you get those Moxie boosts rolling, and it's definitely an attack stat we can work with. And since it's Little Cup, lower stats don't really matter as much. Yes, they do matter, but it's not going to be too much of a hassle because the opponents that you face are going to have less defense as well. So as long as you keep away from those 100 plus defense rock types, you should be good to go, and even then you have some tools in your arsenal. Great speed tier. You hit 17 at level 5 for Little Cup. Sadly, this is 1 point away from greatness, because if this was 73 instead of 72 as you can see on your screen, then it would have been 18 speed, which is a much more respectable speed tier than 17. So unfortunately, 1 point away from greatness, but 17 is definitely something that can still be worked with. In the ability department, we have 3 different abilities to choose from. First of all, we have Rivalry. Rivalry, I think, is a little bit inconsistent because most will just set their genders to randomized. I don't think there's that many Little Cup mons that have set genders that you can hard prep for and set your Litleo gender as to get the boost from Rivalry. So I think it's a little bit inconsistent there. I think you will get much more mileage out of using Unnerve or Moxie. Moxie is for the snowball on the physical side. As you can see, we have some great physical moves in our move pool that we can choose from, and some of them are really general and generic that you can just slap on anything that you want physical, like Flare Blitz for example, whilst others like Acrobatics and Psychic Fangs are more maybe matchup determined. So Acrobatics you can use in tandem with a consumable item like Normal Gem or like Power Herb Solar Beam, stuff like that, or like a Jetpack Overheat, stuff like that makes your item go away to boost that Acrobatics damage. Or you can use Psychic Fangs if it's like you need the psychic coverage on the physical side for something to hit something super effective like a poison, or in order to break screens because Psychic Fangs does that. So you have some moves to choose from there that are really good with Moxie because they get boosted in damage if you get a kill. Unnerve is a very underrated ability in my opinion. I am a man that personally loves to use resist berries when my Eviolites on the other spots on my team are used and I need to cover a super effective hit. So like an Earthquake, we have Shucca Berry and stuff like that. So I really love to use berries, and I know that some of my opponents do as well, and that just takes this out of the picture. Arguably, I think Unnerve becomes even better in Scarlet and Violet because of the removal of the very staple and beloved Little Cup item, Berry Juice, and so to replace that, people will now use Oran Berries or maybe even Citrus Berries in some cases, but mostly Oran Berries. And guess what? Unnerve's going to cover that now, so you can't use your Oran Berries, which makes this a little bit better of a threat because then it doesn't have to deal with HP ranges getting back up. It has more 2-hit KO possibilities when things don't get to heal because Unnerve can block it. In the special move department, we also got some cool stuff to play with. Obviously, Solar Beam is fantastic. Grass coverage on a fire type is amazing for those ground, water, and rock types that it's weak to. Obviously, Solar Beam is a 2-turn move, so either you can just hit it raw and predict a switch, for example, or something like that, or you can use Power Herb to get an immediate Solar Beam, access that Acrobatics, which is now stronger on like a mixed set, or you can actually do you can have another Sun Setter on your team, like for example if there's Sunny Day, Heat Rock, maybe Riolu or something like that, something that can set up the sun for you, or you can run Sunny Day yourself as a status move in the 4th slot and then use like either a Heat Rock to keep it up. You could use like a Life Orb to boost the damage of Solar Beam, and now you have amazing coverage. So stuff like that. So Solar Beam is definitely not out of the picture. It's a super strong move for this Pokemon. It's super solid coverage. You do have to work around the limitations of it, but it hits fantastically for you, and it's going to nuke stuff that it wants to hit, because obviously Litleo special attack is nothing to sneeze at whatsoever. Dark Pulse is also for coverage, and Snarl is maybe more like a doubles thing, but I've seen Snarl do work. Snarl can definitely catch special attackers off guard and make Litleo bulkier. So if you use Snarl with Eviolite, for example, maybe a 2-hit KO becomes a 3-hit KO or something like that. So there's definitely a coverage move that you can use, and Hyper Voice is obviously normal stab, very good Terra option if you go for Terra normal, and Hyper Voice hit things behind the substitute and stuff like that. You just have to be a little bit wary of some Pokemon getting soundproof. But outside of that, you should be good. So you can also do like a Throat Spray Hyper Voice. I have not listed Throat Spray in the items here, but it's definitely a possibility. But it's more on the niche side, but you can definitely do that. Our normal Gem Hyper Voice and Acrobatics can also do wonders for you. In the status move department, we do have moves like the previously mentioned Sunny Day. Workup can work fantastically for bluffing if you're physical, special, and it can work for your mixed sets, because it boosts both stats. Protect is for mostly checking if stuff is carved. You can slap it on to stall out weather like sand turns if you have a drill burr in front of you, or if you really want to hit that Alolan Sandshrew with a fire move, but you have to stall out that last turn of hail, then you can protect. Roar if there's a setup threat in front of you and you have your Eviolite and you know you can tank a hit, but if it gets past Litleo, then it's gonna sweep or completely break through your team, so you have Roar to get it out, and Roar also goes behind sub, which is kind of nice. Decently fast taunts, you can kind of shut down some of these walls that threaten with their status moves or stuff like that. So you can pretty effectively shut down Fungus with this, for example. Maybe you like have to tank a Sludge Bomb in it predicting your taunt, but at least you don't get spored, right? So you can definitely do that. You can also use it on stuff like Marini if you don't expect a water move coming, to prevent T-spikes or prevent recover and all that stuff if you want. Will-O-Wisp and Yawn are amazing status moves. Will-O-Wisp can shut down non-guts physical attackers, and Yawn can also make things want to switch in on hazards, or it can shut things down and sleep if they choose to stay in and kill it, Leo. So it's kind of punishable in that way, or it can force things to swap out so they don't get to sweep like Roar, kind of like it's their initiative to swap. But yeah, you can also do like a Sash Endeavor set, because this thing is bulk can go like either way. So you can go Eviolite to make yourself decently bulky, or you can do like a Sash and then you have some weaknesses. You have like 4 weaknesses, so you could definitely put yourself down to Sash Endeavor and then kind of break a threat in that part. We are going to go a little bit more in detail about specific sets, but now we've covered like the wide range stuff of what it can do. So in the set departments, I have some listed sets that I recommend for you to use if you choose to pick up Litleo. Obviously 17 fire type is an amazing Scarfer. You can use tons of fire moves or dual stab even, and you can I've listed some Terra options for you guys as well. I do believe Fire, Grass, and Normal are going to be your 3 most common Terra options. I do believe Grass is amazing. It covers most of what you're weak to and stuff like that. There are niche options as well, like Ghost for Shadow Tag or stuff like that, or if you want to do Flying type to not get trapped by Diglett, for example. Like there's definitely niche options that I can't list them all. So here are some recommendations, like overall generic recommendations that I suggest. If you go physical, Flare Blitz, Body Slam for power, Facade for status, Wild Charge for Water type, or Will-O-Wisp for shutting down stuff, and Trailblaze to boost your speed to get past your 17 speed limitation, and also maybe get past lower Scarfers and stuff like that. Or even if you get 2 up, maybe you can contest Weather Sweepers and stuff like that. You can definitely do like a speed tie versus Drillbur and Sand, for example, if you get 2 of them up, and it's not going to appreciate a Flare Blade, so maybe you go for the Will-O-Wisp then or something, right? On Special Attacker, you can do, as previously mentioned, the Solar Beam stuff. I have listed Sunny Day Solar Beam Life Orb here because I do believe that is a very consistent variant of it, but you could definitely do Power Herb Acrobatics or Eject Back Overheat, which I've kind of shouted out in the 4th set as the item abuser, because those are kind of niche items that you can use. The 3 most common items on this are going to be Eviolite, Life Orb, or Scarf, but there's tons of different items that this little lion can use, and I definitely implore you to explore and talk things through in a matchup with someone else to get perspective on things. But yeah, Litleo is solid. You're almost always going to want to do the 17 speed, at least in singles. In doubles, you can maybe afford to go a little bit more bulky if there's something specific you're wary of, but the speed this thing has just outpaces more than the general metagame, I'd say, because it outspeeds the tank, the 15s, the 14s, the 16s. And it even speed ties the 17th. So I really think that's something that you should consider. So last but not least, my final Wine Swirlix ranking for Litleo. That's going to be a B+. A B+ is a solid fire type option if you didn't get that Ponyta round 1. If you didn't, if you don't want to do the Darumaka because you're scared of using Hustle, stuff like that. If you don't want to put Salandit because you don't want a 4 times weakness to ground and stuff like that, then consider Litleo. Litleo is an amazing, fantastic Pokemon that more people should put their eyes on, and that's what this show is all about. So if you guys enjoyed this episode of Wine Swirlix hosted by your boy Soulblaze, then please let me know down in the comments below, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you really appreciated this episode of Wine Swirlix, and look forward to the next one. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been your boy Soulblaze, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.